You see it all the time, right? The tech genius, the movie star, the viral sensation, the overnight success. But is it actually real? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on this massive myth and get into the real story of what it actually takes to make it. This quote from someone deep in Hollywood just says it all. It only took me 14 years to be an overnight success. And that, right there, perfectly captures the hidden truth we're talking about. That sudden breakthrough you see, it's almost always an illusion, masking years, and I mean years, of hard work. So that's the big question, isn't it? Is that meteoric rise to the top really what it seems? Or are we just seeing the final triumphant scene of a much, much longer movie that's been playing for a decade? Okay, so first things first. Why are we so drawn to this idea? What makes the story of instant success so appealing, even when we kind of know there's gotta be more to it? Well, a huge part of it is just the media machine. The story of an overnight success is simple, it's exciting, and frankly, it's just easy to sell. It's this clean, tidy narrative that fits perfectly in a headline. And it's way more compelling than the messy 10-year reality of slow, grinding progress. And this is really where the whole myth just completely falls apart. We're told success is this sudden flash of lightning, a lucky break. But the reality? It's almost always the total opposite. It's the final visible step of a very, very long climb, built on years of silent, thankless work. So what does the real timeline of success look like? Well, when you actually look at the data, a really clear pattern starts to emerge, and it is not the one we're used to hearing about. More often than not, the people we call overnight successes have been plugging away at their craft for over a decade. I mean, think about that. 10 years is often the minimum time spent grinding it out in silence before that one moment when the world finally decides to pay attention. Just look at Amazon. The company lost money for 9 straight years. For almost a decade, people were calling Jeff Bezos crazy for burning through all that cash. But he just ignored them and kept building, year after year, long before anyone else could see the vision. And this connects right to that famous 10,000-hour rule. What we love to call natural talent or genius is really just the result of thousands upon thousands of hours of hidden practice. That's what builds the skills that end up looking so effortless to the rest of us. And this brings us to maybe the most critical piece of the puzzle: persistence. The most important part of any success story is the part we never, ever get to see. Everything that happens before the cameras start rolling. You know, think of it like this. That viral video that blew up last week, it was probably the creator's 100th attempt. We see the one that worked, that final polished product. What we don't see are the 99 previous failures, the ones made in total obscurity with no audience and zero applause. This quote just nails it. Success isn't about one magic moment. It's a long and, let's be honest, often tedious process of gradual improvement. It's about slogging away, getting a little bit better, then a little bit better, and constantly honing your craft. Okay, but here's a really fascinating twist. What happens when success does come quickly? Well, it turns out that getting too much, too soon, can actually be a curse. I mean, take lottery winners. They get handed this huge pile of instant, unearned cash, but they often don't have the mindset, the habits, or the financial discipline to manage it, which is why so many of them end up going bankrupt. They got the reward without going on the journey. And this isn't just about money, not at all. The story of Sean Ryan, the guy who created the amazing TV show The Shield, is a perfect example of how dangerous it can be to taste success too early. So get this, right out of college, he has this incredible success. He wins a huge award, gets flown out to Hollywood, and is hired almost immediately. He probably thought to himself, wow, this is easy. And then, nothing. He didn't work again for 6 years. That early win gave him a completely false idea of how the industry worked, and he had to learn about persistence the hard way before he finally got his next big break. This is a classic case of what they call the talented darling problem. Back in your hometown, you might be the smartest person in the room, but then you move to a super competitive field and you suddenly realize everyone was the star of their hometown. That jump from being the big fish in a small pond can be a seriously tough adjustment. So with all of this in mind, how should we be thinking about success? Let's try to reframe this whole idea into something more powerful and, frankly, more realistic. The real takeaway here
is that we need to redefine what success even is. It's not a single event. It's the visible result of a long and usually completely invisible process. It's the sum of all the dedication, all the failures, and all the persistence that happens when absolutely no one is watching.
This quote just puts it perfectly. Success isn't instant. It's invisible until it's not. All that hard work, all those years of effort, they stay completely hidden from view, right up until the moment they become impossible to ignore. So we'll leave you with this question. Knowing that all the real foundational work happens behind the scenes, in the quiet moments of struggle and practice, what are you building in the silence today that the world might just get to see tomorrow?